The following program is a production of The Bob and John Show. Any similarity between person and places is strictly a coincidence. The producers of this program are solely responsible for its content.
It's now time for the Sudsy Wudsy Show, brought to you by Sudsy Wudsy. Sudsy Wudsy. It's an all-purpose cleaner. It's a car wash. It's a bubble bath. Yes, it's Sudsy Wudsy. Sudsy Wudsy now proudly presents The Adventures of Jimmy Ballpoint, Private Investigator, Ear, Eyes, and Nose, the complete package. Jimmy Ballpoint.
This is where I work, the city. It used to be a nice place with nice people. But like everything else, they left. And now the city is a dark and gritty city, with dark and gritty sidewalks, with dark and gritty taxis. Downright depressing if it wasn't for the gum stuck under the tables at the automat. I'm Jimmy Ballpoint, private investigator, ear, eye, and nose, the complete package. My office is up 3 flights of stairs, straight up, right above a flop house. A little office with a desk, chair, sink, and a couch. Like I said, a dark and gritty place. But it's just right for a guy like me. The case that I'm working on now is the case of the return of the Yodeler. This is unusual. The city looks pretty good. The air is fresh, the sun warms my back, and the breeze is refreshing. I just left Angel's Bar and decided to take the scenic route back to my office. No hurry. Not much to worry about. The last 2 jobs paid pretty good. Not a bad morning. Not bad at all. I pulled the large double doors of my office building open, looked straight up at 3 flights of stairs, and started to shuffle 1 foot in front of the other for the climb. Even this didn't seem all that bad. I passed Vernon's office, and his office door was open. Vernon was in conference with his feet up on his desk, his Manhattan pulled down over his eyes, and his arms crossed. An Indian war bonnet was on the floor, next to a buckskin outfit, a pair of tomahawks, and some sort of peace pipe and a pair of moccasins. Funny thing about the job that Vernon gets, he's in the private eye business too, doing divorces in process. His last job must have been a doozy. I slowly closed Vernon's office door. I'll let the poor mug sleep this one off. I got to the top landing of the 3rd floor and started to open my office door when my foot caught a small package. Strange. Sully, who drops off my mail, usually doesn't make his rounds this early. I entered my office and tossed the small package on my desk, opened the window behind me, and settled into my swivel chair. I pulled the package closer and couldn't find any address. Now who would be sending me a package? For what reason? I shook the box back and forth, listening to a rattle from one inside. I opened the package, and inside was a small wooden box. Something like a music box of sorts. A well-made little thing with carvings on it. Kind of like one of those alpine carvings. I started to search my memory of why this is so familiar. Why? Then a recording started playing. I knew it. That sound from the past. That sound that tugged at my memory. That sound that reminded me of my old nemesis. The Yodeler. Hello. I hung the receiver back up on its cradle. I hesitated to answer. Hello. Lieutenant Finn picked up the conversation. He told me that our old nemesis, the Yodeler, busted out of the pen 2 days ago. Finn told me that he remembered the Yodeler saying that we both would get payback for sending him up. Finn reminded me that I was the one who solved the case of the Yodeler. Not an easy thing to forget, doing 20 years in the slammer. I hung up the phone and opened the bottom drawer. Took out my stub-nose 38. Spun the cylinders around, making sure I had a full load of slugs. The Yodeler was a real handful for Flynn and I when we did the beat down by the docks. A slippery mug who wore this outfit of lederhosen, high-kneed white socks, red and green suspenders. The thing that really caught my attention was his hat. His hat looked like the Matterhorn, and get this, with a snowmaking machine built on top. The Yodeler held this city in his grip for months. The entire city yodeled all day and night, while the bank and every cash register in town was cleaned out. As I put my stub nose in my shoulder holster, I could smell some sort of odor. It was yodeling gas. Why, that cold-hearted mug rigged the music box with yodeling gas. I held my breath and turned around and opened my window. The fresh air did the trick. I put my coat on, tucked the music box in my coat pocket, and headed for Angel's Bar. I gotta get some answers, and quick. I made my way to the street, and things were rather quiet. Strange. No taxi. No one around Blink's newsstand. Even Two Finger Tommy's shoeshine stand is empty. I pulled the door open to Angel's Bar and... Egads, the Yodeler strikes again. I take a quick look around the joint and I notice the change box in the phone booth is empty. The drawer of the cash register behind the bar was cleaned out. The bottles behind the bar are gone. No bar napkins, not even a toothpick for the pickle kielbasa. I flipped the light switch. Oh, this is just peachy. No light bulbs in the joint. This guy is quick. I got this faint odor. It's yodeling gas, all right. I take a deep breath and made it to the street. I caught my breath near the taxi stand and leaned on the bench just outside Angel's Bar. I had to get out of the city. I had to think. Fresh air. Out of reach of the Yodeler. A taxi pulled up and I reached for the back door of the taxi, opened it and froze. There behind the wheel was Lily Nightingale, Old Man Pierogi's niece. Lily wants to be a nightclub singer. A nice kid, but has the voice of squeaky chalk on a blackboard. Her uncle got her this gig, driving taxi, just in case the phone rang for her big break. I told Lily to head for the country, and as I do, she steps on the pedal, jolts me back in the seat, and then yodels. Her voice sounds like a string of cats in an alley behind Angel's bar at closing time. We drove forever, for about an hour, and she hit the high notes and other odds and ends that I never even heard of before. I tapped Lily on the shoulder and told her to pull over and let me out. After all, a mug can only take so much. We stopped by a large willow tree, and I got out. The quiet solitude and fresh air is just what the doctor ordered. I gave Lily a sawbuck, and she drove off. I looked around trying to get my bearings. I noticed a small farmhouse across the dirt road I was on and walked up the flagstone walk to the front porch. Strange, nice little farmhouse, but a few passes with a broom and a dustpan would help clean up the wood shavings on the porch. Looks like somebody is into wood carving. A small piece of wood and a pile of shavings caught my attention. Why, it's the top to a music box. The piece had a large chip out of it, along with some others with the same break. An eerie feeling came over me as I cautiously backed myself against the wall next to the front door. I slowly peeked through a screen door, and there, sitting at a round table, was the Yodeler. I wasn't sure at first, but the snow coming out of the top of his hat cinched it. I swung open the screen door and pulled my stub nose out and told the figure to freeze. Kind of poetic if you ask me, that line. After all, snow coming out of the top of his hat. Snow is cold. Snow is... Wait a minute. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Freeze. The figure just sat there. Didn't move a muscle. The Yodeler must be getting slow in his old age. Come to think about it, I do spend more time in that small room across the hall. A little gray just over the ears. A little... Wait a minute. Where was I? And why am I doing this? Oh, this is just peachy. I'm looking at a wooden carving of the Yodeler with a room full of yodeling gas. I take a deep breath and bolt out the front screen door and head to the dirt road outside. The fresh air clears my head, and I start to walk back to the city. I walk for about a mile when I hear a car horn behind me. It's a taxi from town. I reach for the back door and freeze. It's Flippo the clown. I get in and tell Flippo to head to the town. Oh, this is just peachy. I told Flippo to pull up behind Angel's bar. I wanted to get back to my office without being seen on the street. I gave Flippo a sawbuck and was about to head to the alley, going to my building without being spotted. Something caught my attention. Snow. Snow in the middle of a hot, muggy summer in the city. The snow leads to the back door of Angel's bar. Why, that mug is hitting Angel's a second time. That first dose of yodeling gas must have worn off, so the slug dropped off some more. I reached for my Roscoe, cleared the holster, and pulled back the hammer. This is where it ends for the yodeler. I yanked the back door of Angel's bar open and... quiet. It's very quiet. I take a step into the bar, carefully, and then I hear a piano. Not very good, mind you, but a piano. Knuckles was on the ivory keys, doing his thing. Strapped to the top of his piano was the yodeler. The yodeler was bawling his eyes out as Knuckles hit one note after the other, every key on the ivory board. Then it dawns on me, to a yodeler, nothing is more disturbing than off-key. A lot of off-keys. I made my way to the bar and motioned Angel for my usual, a shot of amber glow. Wrinkles covered the stool next to me and smirked. He told me that there's only one tune in the city, and Knuckles plays it. Wrinkles nodded over at Knuckles and then back at me with some sort of sign of my opinion. I looked at Wrinkles and had to be honest with the mug. I love it.
Well, folks, that concludes another episode of Jimmy Ballpoint, Private Investigator, brought to you by Sudsy Wudsy, that all-purpose cleaner. Keep your radio dial on this station for next week's Jimmy Ballpoint, Private Investigator. Ear, eye, nose, the complete package.